What's up, JW here. Today we have the WWE Weekend Review Setup Review. I think it's 27, Monday Night Raw. They started off the show with Judgment Day being out in the ring. Them pretty much just like taking it all in, the booze and everything, and then they introduced the new North American champion, Dominic Mysterio. Dominic won it last week on NXT. I still think it's hysterical that he won the title because the crowd hates him so much. Like, he's probably the most hated person in wrestling right now, professional wrestling, between AEW and WWE and all that stuff. Impact, probably him and Don Callis are the most hated. But he came out, crowd booing like crazy. And he's like saying, "I'm not gonna take this disrespect anymore. I'm a champion now." And then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came out, and Sami Zayn's like, "Well, yes, you're correct. You're a champion now. So if you're a champion, you should defend your championship." And then pretty much challenge Dominic to like, how about you fight me for the North American Championship? And Rhea Ripley accepted for Dominic. And then after that was Becky Lynch had a match against Zoe Starks and Trish Stratus on ringside. And it was a high stakes match because if Becky Lynch lost, she had a tattoo on her. So she had to get a tattoo on herself if she lost. It said, "Thank you, Trish," which, or if she won, she would face Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. And of course, Becky Lynch won. It was a pretty boring match, but it was going back and forth, somewhat decent for a women's match. And Becky Lynch won. I still think it would have been hysterical if Becky Lynch would have lost. I really thought that'd be pretty funny if Becky Lynch would have gotten the tattoo, but I know that wasn't happening. But it would have been pretty funny if that would have happened. I know they would. If she would have lost, it would probably been a fake tattoo because there's no way she'd actually tattoo it on her body. But you never know. Some wrestlers are very dedicated to that stuff. Alpha Academy had a promo backstage just to add this in about how the Viking Raiders had their, of course they're going to win, they had their Viking Raiders match. But how about we have an Alpha Academy rules match? So I think they're setting something up like that. It'd be interesting where they're going to go with that. After that was where Sami Zayn and Dominic Mysterio had their match for the North American title. Sami Zayn was about to win when Kevin Owens was coming out. Was dragged out by Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, and they were beaten down on Kevin Owens. Actually, yeah, it was Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. I couldn't remember if it was Finn Balor or what. And Sami Zayn was distracted, and Dominic rolled him up and got the 1-2-3 pin. A cheap win because Sami Zayn was going to win. But the thing is about Kevin Owens actually got for real hurt during this event. I don't know how it happened, but they were like throwing around, beating him up, but somehow Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley hurt Kevin Owens, which kind of pisses me off because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are such good champions. Hopefully they don't have to give up the titles because he is for real hurt, actually. Like, it was confirmed he was hurt. Like, he tried getting up and like he fell backwards. Sami Zayn caught him. I don't know what he got hurt on his body, but he clearly is actually hurt because it was on Twitter or something that he got hurt for real. And I really hope they don't have to give up their titles because they're such good champions. Since they kind of do their single stuff, also being champions, hopefully they can get away with that and keep their titles, because I really don't want them to give up their titles quite yet because they're such good champions. They're such good together as a tag team. I really hope that, and I hope Kevin Owens recovers pretty fast because that pisses me off that Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest hurt him. Like, seriously. It was just a small, like, beatdown. You're not supposed to, like, hurt him. It's so annoying. But after that was Bronson Reed versus Tommaso Ciampa. Boring match. I always find it hysterical how Bronson Reed comes out and the crowd is dead silent. Nobody cares about Bronson Reed. Everybody cares less about him because he's just trash. He's absolutely not that good. Nobody likes him. And it's hysterical when the crowd's dead silent because nobody cares. But they're trying to push him. It was a pretty boring match. Going back and forth, Tommaso Ciampa, Bronson Reed. Shinsuke ended up coming out to the ring and watching because Tommaso Ciampa screwed over their match last week. And Tommaso Ciampa told Shinsuke backstage, if you get involved in the match, you and me are going to have a problem. He never got involved in the match, but Bronson Reed ended up winning because Tommaso Ciampa was still distracted. So it's probably setting up a feud between Shinsuke and Tommaso Ciampa, but this absolutely, they're still wasting, like always wasting Shinsuke. So sad how they waste him. After this, Ricochet and Logan Paul went face to face. Ricochet was out of the ring, talking smack about Logan Paul again. Because Logan Paul, he's pretty much saying how Logan Paul doesn't deserve to be in the ring and everything, because he never went to the indies and all that stuff and worked his butt off to get to a small chance to be in WWE. And he's completely right. Ricochet is completely right. Logan Paul does not deserve what he gets. He was just handed everything, but it is for business. Logan Paul's there, but he would not come out out of nowhere. Ricochet was attacked from behind. Logan Paul grabbed his phone, like recording himself, and then out of nowhere, Ricochet super kicked Logan Paul, and then Ricochet challenged Logan Paul to a match at SummerSlam. This will be a banger match because both of them are crazy at like high flying stuff. Be super cool. After this, Drew McIntyre and Ludwig Kaiser had a match because Drew McIntyre and Gunther went face to face before the match, and Drew McIntyre was ripping on the Imperium, and then said to Ludwig Kaiser, he's like, "I like you. You should be the person that runs Imperium." And he got all mad about it, and he was like, "How dare you disrespect Gunther and the Imperium like that?" And they ended up having a match, pretty good match back and forth, and Drew McIntyre obviously ended up winning. Afterwards, Gunther started beating down Gunther, but also, I forgot about this, before the match, Drew McIntyre tried getting Gunther to fight him right there on Raw for the title. He was like, "No, I've made this title important again, and actually like a big title now. I'm not defending my title on a Raw in freaking like in Florida." And he was ripping out the people of Florida and stuff because you'll fight me at SummerSlam, so they're gonna fight SummerSlam. Obviously, Drew McIntyre's gonna win. I hope so much he wins because he's so good. But they ended up having a good match. Gunther ended up attacking Drew McIntyre after McIntyre beat Ludwig Kaiser, and then beating down on McIntyre. Matt Riddle came out. Matt Riddle, I really don't understand why he came out, because he got hit and dropped. He was laying out in the ring, and they didn't even talk about him. His music didn't hit, nothing. Like the announcers didn't even talk about Matt Riddle. It was like, what is he doing out there? He just got punched in the face, dropped to the ground. It's just like, it was so random. McIntyre ended up putting Gunther through their announcer table, and then he raised the Intercontinental high in the air for the camera. But honestly, this whole like segment was good, but the Matt Riddle thing was so random. I was like, what in the world did I just watch with Matt Riddle? After this, Damian Priest had a squash match against Apollo Crews because Apollo Crews got in his face backstage saying, I can handle you, I can take you out. And Damian Priest just squashed him, raised the Money in the Bank high. It's literally doing nothing. But he's eventually going to end up doing something with the Money in the Bank, I have a feeling. Cody Rhodes had a good promo, like always. It's Cody. He pretty much was saying how he's going to finally beat Brock Lesnar, and how he's mad that he disrespected Cody in front of his mom, beat him down in front of his mom and everything. He was selling the arm injury again, which I hope he does not lose at SummerSlam because of the freaking arm injury. Cody needs to win this to hype him back up, get him higher and higher to finally face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. I still think it's going to be Cody and Roman at WrestleMania 40. After that was the main event. Also during the show, Rhea Ripley was supposed to have a match against Liv Morgan for the women's title, and she ended up attacking Liv Morgan, just beating the holy hell out of her. So that was pretty boring, but whatever. The main event was a contract signing of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for their match at SummerSlam. And Finn Balor was like about to sign. Seth Rollins instantly signed it. Seth Rollins was laughing and said, "Well, Finn, either way, I'm gonna win. You're never gonna win your championship because either I'm gonna beat you, or somehow you're able to pull it off and beat me, but your title reign's gonna be shorter than your Universal title reign." Which this match means a lot to me at SummerSlam, kind of like a nostalgic match, because my very first, when I started watching wrestling in 2016, it was before SummerSlam, but my first like pay-per-view I actually watched was SummerSlam 2016, when it was these two for whoever wins is the first ever Universal Champion, so the first ever champion. So this match is kind of like a nostalgic rematch for like the title 7 years later. So it kind of means I'm actually really excited for this title match. So I really, really hope that what Seth Rollins said does not happen. Seth Rollins is like, well, you're either going to a really short Universal title reign, because the next day after he won the Universal title, he had to give it up because he got injured that day 7 years ago. He says, you're going to beat me somehow. If you're able to beat me, Damian Priest, your buddy's going to cash in the Money in the Bank, and you're going to have a super short title reign. And then the Judgment Day is going to fall. And I really, really hope Finn Balor wins and freaking Damian Priest does not cash in. Maybe Damian Priest does cash in and he fails to cash in. I'd rather see that than him freaking beat Finn Balor, because Finn Balor deserves a world title reign. He got cut short and got screwed over 7 years ago at SummerSlam. I remember seeing it. It was so sad the next day on that Monday Night Raw, him giving up that title. Hopefully WWE does not screw over Finn Balor. Please don't do it. He deserves the title reign. But overall, in my opinion, I thought this Raw was actually pretty good. Not a whole ton on the show, but all the stuff, like the matches, were actually pretty good. I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. Also, my opinion, I feel like right now the wrestling business is absolutely outstanding right now. Between AEW, WWE, all these shows, New Japan, pay-per-views and stuff, it's so good right now. Wrestling is on every single day of the week. I cannot believe it. It is so good right now. I feel like this right now, for like a money standpoint and view standpoint, wrestling, professional wrestling, is at the highest it's ever been. It really has been. If you look at the stats for like views and money, it's the highest. You got Monday Night Raw on Mondays, Tuesday NXT, Wednesday Dynamite, Thursday Impact, Friday you get 2 shows, SmackDown and Rampage, and then Saturday Collision, and then once a month for WWE you get a pay-per-view on Sunday, and then every 4 months you get a pay-per-view on Sunday or Saturday. Same thing with Saturday or Sunday for WWE, and then every 4 months, Saturday or Sunday for AEW. There's so much wrestling going on right now. The wrestling business is so high. It's just rising and rising and rising. There's so many wrestlers at over. It's just so entertaining to watch right now. I'm so happy to be a wrestling fan at this time. It's amazing. I feel like Raw's been pretty good lately. Dynamite's been amazing. SmackDown's been outstanding with the Bloodline storyline. Even though I hate Roman Reigns, the storyline's been crazy good. NXT is okay, but like it's still wrestling. It's still pretty good. Like the Dominic Mysterio stuff was good. Braun Breaker's good. Thursday I don't watch Impact. Not many people do, but it's still wrestling on Thursday. Crazy. Saturday, oh my gosh. But also Friday on Rampage for AEW. It's a decent show. They put on a good hour show for a Friday night. Saturday Collision, absolutely amazing show. Great 2-hour show on Saturday nights, and Sundays or Saturdays for the pay-per-views. The pay-per-views lately for WWE that Triple H has been putting on have been outstanding. And then the pay-per-views for AEW have been outstanding right now overall. I know I should went on this rant for this weekend set of review, but the pay-per-views, everything. Professional wrestling is so good right now. I'm so happy to be a fan, and it's doing great. But this is JW. Make sure to like, subscribe, stay tuned for more wrestling figure content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.